Welcome to Diligent Canine, and in this video I'm going to talk about walking your dog on a leash, or loose leash walking. And basically what we want to happen here, our goal is for the dog to not be pulling you down the street. That should never ever happen. The dog has to know that you are in control. Again, it doesn't mean you have to be a jerk to your dog, it just means that you need to stay neutral and remain in control of the situation. So, the dog is your responsibility, not the other way around. So, you can see I've got my dog set up with a pinch collar and the backup, as I've explained in other videos, and a leash, a regular 6-foot leather leash. And the pinch collar works particularly well in this situation because as we're walking down the street, if the dog starts to walk too fast, as long as I don't engage the dog in walking faster myself, the dog will start to get a correction by getting pinched with the pinch collar. Now, what's important here is that I can slow my pace intentionally so that the dog gets pinched a little harder, and as soon as the dog slows his pace or stops or looks back at me, then the tension on the leash is released and the pinching on his neck is released. However, I can double this up by taking the opportunity to mark and reward my dog for slowing down. So what that might look like is the dog pulls and pulls and there's a pinch, and then he slows up, pinching stops, leash goes limp, and I say yes. Oh, and I give him a reward after I marked it. So what can also happen is you're walking with your dog and they pull really hard and then you just stop. Well, obviously the dog is going to get a pretty stiff correction. There is no need for you to jerk the leash with a prong collar. It naturally tightens and naturally pinches on their neck when the dog applies more pressure on the collar. So you don't need to do any sort of aggressive pulling or yanking on the chain with yanking on the leash with a pinch collar. It does that on its own. It's what it's made for. You just have to stop, and that will already give a pretty stiff correction depending on how hard the dog is pulling. Now, if for some reason you have an aversion to pinch collars, which I've explained before, they're very safe alternatives to some other collars, then the dog is just pulling, and the leash goes tight. You absolutely must be able to restrain your dog. So there's absolutely no reason for your dog to be pulling you down the street. You should be able to stop that animal and say, no, that is not okay. You are not allowed to just take off and pull me down the street. And until that dog decides to slow down, stop, or come back to you, you do not move. But as soon as the leash goes limp, then you mark and reward. So the dog is learning that pulling on the leash will not get it closer to the thing that it's won. It will only make it more frustrating. And it's not until we slow down that we're allowed to move forward. Many times, moving forward will be the reward fulfillment. It'll be what the dog accepts as its reward. However, you may have a strong enough association built with your marker that when the dog slows down and they're slacking the line and it moves towards the thing it was pulling at, that you're still able to mark it and the dog looks back at you. So, in other words, it's okay if the dog slowed down and the leash goes soft and the dog starts walking normally again, and you say yes, or you click, and the dog doesn't even turn around. That's okay, because the point is, the dog realized that it had to slow down if it wanted to move forward. So, I'll post some videos about walking in the future, but until then, stay tuned and remain diligent. So I'm walking with my dog, and you can see him outfitted with the pinch collar, and I'll show you right here. I can stop, and I did no pulling at all. The only pressure was that the dog applied himself. So he stopped. That's good enough for me. We can keep going forward. Okay. If I stop again, I want the dog to stop. Yes.
and doubled up with a reward. Okay, so nothing's really happening that he's pulling, but again, when I stop, it's a good time to practice a recall. Ding. Yes. So there are lots of training opportunities even in your daily maintenance of the dog. So when you're going for walks, you can be training things like loose leash walking, recalls. Ding. Yes. And these work particularly well together because the dog will either learn to walk gently on the leash, or he will get really, really good at coming back to you because you're recalling him 50 times in a walk. So, until next time, stay tuned and remain diligent. Thanks for your support of military and working dogs.